Let's stop pretending. You tell yourself you're doing okay. You've got the job, you've got the routine, and you're not hitting rock bottom, so you think you're safe. But that's the lie that kills most people. Average isn't a safe harbor, it's a slow-motion car crash. Think about the last time you actually felt alive. Not just not bored, but actually sharp. If you have to think back more than a week to find that feeling, you're already paying the tax. You're trading the only life you'll ever have for a version of comfort that doesn't even make you happy. It just makes you numb. The cost of being average is that you become invisible, not just to the world, but to yourself. You wake up, you check your phone, you react to everyone else's priorities, and you go to sleep. You're a passenger, and the terrifying part, nobody is coming to save you. Nobody is going to knock on your door and hand you a purpose if you don't decide to. Be dangerous. To be someone who actually stands for something, you'll just evaporate into the background. You'll be another person who had potential, but traded it for a weekend on the couch and a paycheck that barely covers the cost of your own distractions. Let's talk about the average tax. Most people think success is expensive. They think the 1% life costs too much work, too much stress, and too much sacrifice. They're wrong. Success is cheap compared to the cost of staying where you are. When you stay average, you pay a daily interest rate of self-disgust. You know you're capable of more. Every time you scroll through your phone and see someone actually doing the work you're afraid of, you feel that sting in your chest. That's the tax. Every time you say, "I'll start Monday," and then spend Sunday night dreading the morning, that's the tax. You are paying for your mediocrity with your mental health. You are paying with your confidence. You are paying with the respect your future self would have had for you. The world is designed to keep you in the middle. Modern society loves an average man. An average man is easy to predict. He's easy to market to. He's easy to control. He stays in his lane, pays his taxes, watches the shows they tell him to watch, and dies without ever making a ripple in the water. If you want to be more than a statistic, you have to realize that the lane they put you in is a dead end. Stoicism isn't about sitting in a room and thinking happy thoughts while the world burns. It's about realizing that your time is being stolen and deciding to take it back by force. It's about looking at the normal life, the 9 to 5, the mindless drinking, the gossip, the constant need for validation, and realizing that it's a death sentence for your potential. You think you have time. That's your biggest mistake. You think you can be average now and great later. You think you'll wake up at 40 and suddenly have the discipline you refuse to build at 25. It doesn't work like that. Discipline is a muscle. If you don't use it, it withers. If you spend your 20s and 30s being fine, you are training your brain to be a loser. You are literally hardwiring yourself to accept less than you deserve. Seneca said it best. We don't have a short time to live. We just waste a lot of it. But he wasn't talking about fun. He was talking about the empty spaces in your day where you aren't actually present. The hours you spend waiting for the clock to hit 5 p.m., the years you spend waiting for the right time. The right time is a ghost. It doesn't exist. There is only right now. And right now, you are making a choice. You are either choosing to climb or you are choosing to slide. There is no standing still. The moment you stop pushing, you start falling. Being average is a choice to stop pushing. It's a choice to let the current of the world take you wherever it wants. And let me tell you, the current of the world doesn't lead to a good place. It leads to regret. It leads to a hospital bed where you realize you never actually met the person you were supposed to be. Look at the people around you. Are they sharp? Are they focused? Are they building something that matters? Or are they just complaining about the same things they were complaining about last year? If you surround yourself with average people, you will become average. It's basic math. You can't fly with eagles if you're hanging out with turkeys. The cost of greatness is loneliness. You're going to lose friends. You're going to have people call you obsessed or boring because you'd rather work than go to a bar. Let them. Their opinion doesn't pay your bills, and it certainly won't comfort you when you're old and looking back at a wasted life. You need to develop a hatred for good enough. Good enough is the poison of the soul. It's the reason people stay in bad relationships. It's the reason people stay in dead-end jobs. It's the reason people carry an extra 30 pounds of fat they don't need. A Stoic understands that the only thing you truly own is your character and your actions. If your actions are average, your character is average, period. There are no participation trophies in reality. When you do a task, ask yourself, would a master do it this way? When you speak to someone, ask, is this the best version of me speaking? Most of the time, the answer will be no. That's fine. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is the relentless pursuit of better. Average people focus on the prize. Winners focus on the process. You want the result, but you hate the work. You want the unshakable mind, but you don't want the 2 a.m. silence where you have to face your own failures. You want the body, but you don't want the hunger. The cost of being average is that you get the hollow version of everything. You get the shallow relationships. You get the temporary pleasure that leaves you feeling empty 10 minutes later. You get the life that looks good on Instagram, but feels like trash in real life. Let's get real about the sunk cost of comfort. You've invested years into being comfortable. You've built a life that doesn't hurt, but it doesn't heal either. You are staying in a situation, whether it's a job or a mindset, simply because you've already spent so much time there. You think that by leaving the average path, you are losing what you've built. You aren't. You are simply stopping the bleeding. Every day you spend being average is another day you are throwing good money after bad. You are throwing a fresh, clean 24 hours into a dumpster because you're afraid to admit that the last 10 years weren't your best work. Stoicism teaches us to cut our losses. If a ship is sinking, a Stoic doesn't stay on board just because he liked the captain. He jumps, he swims, he finds a new way. Most people are terrified of being different, but they should be terrified of being the same. Look at the average health of the person next to you. Look at the average bank account. Look at the average level of happiness in a marriage. If you do what they do, you get what they have. Is that what you want? To be 50 years old and miserable? If you want to escape the tax, you have to be willing to be the villain in other people's stories. You have to be the one who says no to the birthday party because you have a mission. You have to be the one who wakes up at 5 a.m. while everyone else is sleeping off a hangover. They will call you extreme. They will call you unbalanced. Good. Balance is for people who have already arrived. You haven't arrived. You're still in the trenches. And in the trenches, balance is just another word for standing still while the snipers take aim. The average tax is paid in regret. I want you to imagine yourself at 80 years old. You're sitting on a porch, and the greatest version of you, the one who actually worked, actually risked, and actually succeeded, walks up to you. That version of you has the eyes of a man who conquered himself. He has the peace of a man who left nothing on the table. He looks at you and he sees a coward. He sees a man who was too afraid of what average people thought to ever try. That moment is the highest cost of all. Realizing that you were your own biggest obstacle. Realizing that the safety you chased was actually a prison sentence. So, what are you going to do? Are you going to finish this video and go right back to the same habits? Are you going to tell yourself that was a good video and then scroll for another 3 hours? Or are you going to kill the average version of yourself today? It starts with one decision. One no to a distraction. One yes to a difficult task. Stop trying to be liked by people who don't even like themselves. Start being respected by the man in the mirror. The cost of being average is your life. Stop paying it.